Hi everyone. This video is part 4 in a series on how to go about doing the required PHP update on WordPress installations. And I suspect this is the one that is going to be of most interest to people. And what we're going to do is look at how we go about doing the upgrade on a Debian server. It should be somewhat similar no matter what type of Linux operating system you're using. There will be slightly different commands if you're using something like OpenSUSE or CentOS. I think CentOS is what the Yum package manager. I can't remember what they use, but in any case, you won't be able to use the apt or the apt-get command if you're using something other than a Debian-based Linux distribution. So what I'd like to do first is just point out that we have a very recently installed Debian 10, the most current operating system for Debian at this time, installed on the server. Yet we're still getting the PHP update required. Technically out of the box, Debian 10 is going to come with PHP 7, and it looks like we're still running PHP 5. So first, what I want to do is confirm that. And actually, I think what I'm going to do even before that is go into my WordPress directory, and so I've got it in the var www, and we'll just list the contents there. And I think what I want to do is go into the wp config.php file. So we will sudo nano config.php. Whoops, I need the wp-config and throw in my password. And so what I'm going to do is, so what you'll need to do is come down to this line where it says define WP debug, and we want to set that to true because if there are any problems, we're going to want to have that outputted to us. And I'm just going to do Control X to exit, Y, and then enter. And now what I want to do is check what versions of PHP we actually have installed. So we can do that by running dpkg-l, and that will give us a list of all the packages that are installed on the Debian 10 machine. And I'm just going to scroll down and find PHP. I think you can actually search specifically for PHP, but I forget what that command is. And so when we get down to the section that covers all of the PHP packages, you'll see that we have all of the kind of common, and we also have PHP 5, we have PHP 7, we have PHP 7.3. So my assumption is we are still running PHP 5, and what we want to do to fix that is uninstall it. Just because I've done this before, I know it's going to cause some problems, but the idea here is to kind of show you what will happen, and then if you don't just reinstall PHP altogether. I think it's important that people see this. So if I hit the Q button, then I will quit, and I can go ahead and clear my screen. And so the first time I went through this, my solution was just to run sudo apt get purge, and then I did PHP 5 with an asterisk, and then the thought was, oh, that'll remove everything. So if I go ahead and hit that, and yes, I do want to remove all of that. And once the purge process is done, if I go back to the actual website and I refresh, I'm getting this error here. And so we want to make sure that we have the right version of PHP installed. This is causing problems. I think it's looking for some PHP 5 files. It's not finding them, and so we're getting this message here. Now there is kind of a standard way to fix this, and I think what the problem is we have to make sure that the Apache 2 mods are enabled for this. And so what we need to do is go back to the command line, and I will clear this screen. Clear. And what we'll do is run the sudo a2enmod php 7.3, and so this will allow PHP to communicate with the Apache server and the MariaDB server. If you were using MySQL before, before Debian 10, then you will have upgraded to MariaDB, and I've not encountered any problems with that ever, so you should be okay there. Then if I go ahead and hit enter, to activate the new configuration, we need to run the command that they're telling us. So you do need to be a sudo user, so sudo system control restart Apache 2. Okay, so now if we go back to our website, we should have taken care of this problem. And so I'm here on one of the help pages. So actually, we want to go back to the home page. And so by running that command, the sudo a2enmod php 7.3, we took care of that other problem. And actually, the first time I ran this, it caused all sorts of other problems too. And what I ended up doing in that case was reinstalling PHP. I removed everything and then installed PHP. So if you are running into issues, then I would recommend running some of these commands here. So this is specific to an error that you might get that, oh, what did it say? It was along the lines of your PHP installation appears to be missing the MySQL extension, which is required by WordPress. And after some digging, I was able to kind of fix things by first kind of running the sudo apt get purge. What I did was I uninstalled all instances of PHP, and so what you can do is the sudo apt get purge php asterisk, and this will remove everything. Whoops, maybe we have to put that in quotes. So you have to make sure you put that in quotes, and yes, I do want to continue. And this is giving me questions about php-myadmin, which I don't want to use. It's kind of a security risk. Anything that I need to do with php-myadmin, I can do on the command line. So I'm actually, I don't care about this, so I'm just going to hit yes. And yes, I do want to delete the database for php-myadmin. And if you do use php-myadmin, my recommendation would be just to reinstall, get rid of it and then reinstall it. Okay, so once that's done, we'll likely get the message I was talking about. Oh, so we get this page again because PHP isn't there to render the page. So next what we want to do is go back to the command line, and we're going to want to run a number of commands to install all of the necessary PHP packages and modules. And let's see, I've copied, whoops, that isn't going to work. So I've copied and I'm going to paste here, and I think what I'll do is put this into the description below so that you can also copy and paste it, because this is a long one. Sudo apt install php, so this is going to install the latest version of PHP for us, and this is only going to work on a Debian based distribution. If you're using something other than Debian, you're going to have to use a different package manager than apt. So it might be Yum, it might be Pacman, if you're using Arch Linux. So you do need the MySQL extension as well as all of these others. And again, I'll put that into the description below so you can copy and paste as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And yes, and this is going to take a minute or two. Okay, and so once that's done, I think we may have to run the sudo system control Apache system control Apache to restart command. Unknown opera. Oh, sorry. That should actually be restart here and Apache to here. Okay, so we do that for good measure, and let us go back to the website. Let's see what that did. And so that brings everything back to normal, almost. You'll notice that I'm having some problems here, and I am also having some problems up here. And we've really accomplished what we set out to do here. If I go to the dashboard and I update this, my PHP warning's gone, which is great. We're on the road to getting this all figured out and done. Now, if you're like me and you're using some PHP widget plugins, you might be getting some error messages here. And these are being shown because at the start of the video I had turned on debug mode. So we want to be sure when we're done with everything that we turn debug mode off. So if you're in good shape now and you don't need to watch the next video, it's a good idea to go back to your config file and take that out. So let's just clear this. Let's cd var www, and I forget what it's called. So sudo nano, oh geez, going too fast here. Sudo nano wp dash config config.php. And then we're going to scroll down to that section of this file here where we have the define wp debug. And so here you want to turn this into false. I'm not going to do that because in the next video I'm going to show you how to fix issues associated with the PHP plugin widget. If you have any questions or insights that you want to share with others, please leave them in the comments below. And hopefully this has been helpful for you. And if you need help with the PHP widget plugin, that is something I will cover in the next video. So thanks for watching.